So, thanks so much for being here this beautiful morning. Let's begin by just rubbing our hands together, maybe all the way down to the wrist. Just using this simple, powerful sense of touch to bring us into our bodies, to bring us into a state of presence for the next hour, hopefully that extends into our Sunday. Find your breath. Maybe just notice if it's shallow or deep. Notice if it feels constricted in any tight pockets of the body. And notice for the sake of noticing, for the sake of getting to know your interior better. Notice without judgment, without a story of what's good or bad, just with the intention of befriending all the parts of yourself here on this mat. Maybe bringing those hands to stillness at your heart space or your belly space. Just taking a moment to really feel where the comfort of your hands is needed. As always, whatever emotion arises during this practice, let it come to the surface. Try to meet it with a loving kindness. Try not to resist or push it back down, knowing that you're safe enough to let what feels unsafe rise. It's believed that when a shaman names a fear, the fear loses its power. Feel your sit bones heavy in the earth. Maybe bring in the visualization of Mother Earth's hands underneath you, catching you, holding you, cradling you. Maybe bring your left hand to face palm up at the sky, resting it on your knee, and maybe your right hand crosses over your chest to rest on that left shoulder, or crosses over your belly to meet at those left ribs. I'm going to ask you for a moment to stay grounded in your body, but we're going to enter a meditation that actually asks you to enter the body of a bird. Trust your instincts about what kind of bird. Maybe it's a hawk, maybe it's a goose, maybe it's a sweet small northern flicker. Maybe you don't know its name, but you know its call. You know the shape of its body. Can you look through its eyes as it flies over the most beautiful landscape you can imagine? Maybe a moss-covered forest. Maybe a meadow in a winter morning covered in sparkles from the frost. you let your body sway with its movement, with its flight. Bringing an audible quality to your breath, a sigh or a hum, your own bird song in your breath. Entering this new perspective, widening the scope of your sight. Letting the tightness in your chest fill with the space of your breath as you move through the air. Mm. Maybe you join a flock, flying together in formation. Maybe you're a seabird over the ocean, swooping with the ebb and the flow of the waves. Maybe diving down to cool yourself off in the water. Relax every muscle in your body. And when you're ready, bringing your eyes back to see out of your body, to hear out of your ears, to feel your palm facing up, your other arm wrapped around your front. Visualizing a soft front, that palm up for receiving, for a tender front to love, receive love, and give love. And then the hand that's wrapped around your front, representing a strong back, rooted in your goodness, your inherent divinity, resourced fully with your allowance to let yourself rest, let yourself eat well, let yourself be surrounded by the ones you love and trust. Soft front, strong back, soft front, strong back. Releasing your hands to wherever they're comfortable, maybe bringing them into a prayer and touching your thumbs to your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, maybe rubbing slightly in a circular motion with your thumbs there to just awaken that sense of intuition, that knowing that here on your mat, the choice is yours for what shapes you enter, for what breath work you choose. It's all for you. And we're going to begin with a Kriya. It combines pranayama, so some breath work, and some arm movements and body movements. I will say this is an ancient ritual that's been adapted by yours truly. So I honor the Kriya that it was, and then I made some adaptations, which I think would be welcome, right? So welcome also to make your own adaptations. I'm gonna explain it a little bit. And then don't worry, I'm here with you for all of it. So I'll tap you back in when a transition occurs because it can be a little overwhelming if you've never done it before. I will say this is a meditation I've done. I took a little break this week, which I was being hard on myself about, and then let some space in. I was drinking wine and doing a lot of crying, and and I decided, Allie, I think it's time to return to the practice, but when you're ready, right? So this is I've done this Kriya. I had done it for 20 days consecutively, and it really was opening something in me. And so I'm just really excited to share. Also, a beautiful woman and teacher shared it with me. So it's called the Original You Kriya. So it's to tap us into our true nature, which is to say, the truth before all of the protective layers of trauma and life happened and stressors happened. Underneath those protective layers is this light that we were born with. And at any moment, in any moment where we're trying to be present, we can tap back into it. So, um, the first 3 minutes begins with a clasp of your hands and then palms pushing outward. Elbows are straight, and you're sort of just trying to settle into it. So you want those shoulders to be fairly relaxed, that belly to be relaxed. And you're going to hold that for 3 minutes while we do a balanced breath, which just means an equal inhale. So if it's 8 seconds, if it's 10 seconds, whatever it is for you, 6 seconds. Mine ends up being between 8 and 10. So whatever that inhale is, the same length of a retention at the top. Picture that bird again floating through the sky. That's what the retention should feel like. Not like a clenching, but like a suspension. So that would be 8 seconds if your inhale was, and then an exhale for the same length. And you're just doing that for the 3 minutes. The second 3 minutes, we're gonna engage in cannon breath. So you inhale through your nose, a forceful exhale. I feel like I picture like Jack Frost blowing snow all around for that one. And for that one, we just do a side body stretch and then a back stretch and then a forward round of your spine. And then moving through that on the other side. And I just move through that as slowly or as rapidly as feels good to you. Our breath won't be exactly aligned because we're all different. You'll be hearing my cannon breath. I have read the Kriyas say the more forceful that cannon breath is, the more ability you have to heal yourself. So I'll just leave that with you. Some days it's more forceful than others for me. Um, and then the last one, we return to this interlace, palms pressed out. Maybe if you can remember, interlace opposite way, right? So if your right was on top, do your awkward one on top the second time. And for this one, we do a belly pump. The breath is a belly pump. So I'm just going to show you my belly. So you inhale, and as you hold the breath at the top, you pump your belly rapidly as you retain the breath. Yep. And if these hands, if you're really like, I am tense, I am locked, like it's pulling you out of the present, just put your hands wherever you want for that. And the goal is to pump your belly 21 times at the top while you're retaining your breath. I'm telling you, when I first started this, I was doing like 11, and I was like giggling at my teacher that she was insane. I could do 21. After practicing, now I'm at 21, which is exciting. But don't just do what you can while you're retaining your breath. Then you'll let it go, and then you'll do it again. Inhale, and then I'm rapidly pumping my belly. Exhale. So that's our 9 minute chunk. Then I'll take you through the rest once we get through that. So we tune in with the words. I wonder if I can put this in the chat. Can y'all see the chat? Okay, just gonna send that. If you can, if you want to open that up again, if this is your first time and you're just like, that's more stressful than anything, just close your eyes and feel the vibration. Feel the vibration. These are some really ancient and powerful syllables we'll be saying. And what they really say is that I believe in like the divinity all around me. I believe that I'm divine. So it's really, again, tapping us into our true nature, which is connected to nature. Like, look around. Everything here we are connected to, we are all one. So really acknowledge that there's some suffering here because you're not just suffering, maybe not just in pain for yourself, but for a vast number of people. So we can hold that here, but then we're also going to tap into the vast nature of love, which can combat all suffering and pain and fear. So the words are Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And we say them 3 times as our tune in, and then we'll begin our breath practice. And I'm holding our time, I'm holding the space for you so you can just really fully drop in. So we're going to inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. One more. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And we begin, arms interlaced, palms pressed out, balanced breath, inhaling for whatever your count is, retaining it at the top of your breath for the same count, and then exhaling for that same count. Eyes can be gently closed or gently opened. Either way, maybe bringing the eye focus to that third eye point, the space between your eyebrows. Mm. Maybe on your exhale, exploring that Ujjayi breath, just that slight restriction in the back of your throat when you exhale through your nose, innervating that larynx and pharynx, stimulating that vagus nerve. Maybe bringing the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth to relax that jaw. A couple more. Last one, wherever you are. And then moving into our cannon breath with our side body stretch, back body stretch, rounded spine forward. Inhaling through your nose and a forceful exhale out your mouth, making an O shape with your mouth. It's okay to make noise with your breath. It's your breath. Give it voice, give it expression, give it power. The traditional Kriya is to hold that interlaced finger position. So if that feels good to you, you may return there. This is the alley special, so just a few more rounds here. See if your cannon breath can become more forceful, more powerful. One more. Reach wherever you are, complete that flow. Moving into our interlaced hands again, our deep, long inhale, and then our belly pumps through that breath retention, rapid, pulling that belly button into the spine rapidly, and then letting it go. Maybe on the exhale, finding a twist side to side to sort of press out all of that stale air. Whatever you're doing is just right. It's beautiful. It's perfect. 2 more times. Mm. And then taking a moment in stillness, arms release, maybe bowing your head, whatever feels good and true to honor this moment, to honor whatever has risen to the surface, to meet it as a friend, to meet it as a part of you. And you're going to clasp all fingers, releasing your pointer finger. You're going to bring your elbows in tight to your body, and we're going to make circles. At first, slow, and then they'll gain rapidity as we go. We are doing this for 2.5 minutes. Eyes can be gently closed. Again, focus on that third eye. Or if today it feels more connected for you to have your eyes gently open, please honor that. And begin to pick up your speed. Knowing that this movement is bringing in all that nature has to offer us in terms of tapping into its endless and eternal flow of love, of truth, of hope, of the cyclical nature of pain and prosperity, knowing that nature takes care of itself, takes care of all that it holds, and that we have that same well inside of us. Maybe picking up that speed. Maybe returning to seeing through the eyes of the bird soaring, titrating between that new big perspective and then back into seeing through your eyes. Good job. This is where you really pick up the pace, pick up that energetic force field we're creating. 30 more seconds. Stay with your breath. And coming to stillness, hands at heart center. Just attending to whatever rises. We are not here to weed our gardens. We are just here to recognize all the splendor, the flowers and the weeds. We're here to attend to the soil, which touches Mother Earth. Finding a deep inhale and then a sigh. We're going to end this Kriya with just two words: Sat, S-A-T, Nam, N-A-M, which translates into truth is my name. And we'll just do it one time together. Inhale. Sat Nam. Before we enter our yin practice, we are going to just do one vagal toning um, exercise using our eyes. Our vagus nerve is really connected to the musculature of our eyes. I have to look up this fact, but I think that is actually connected to the pericardium, the muscle around your heart, too. I'll report back next week. That seems like a little too crazy, but the body is a wild thing. So you're going to bring your palms just like gently cupped around eye level. And your eyes are going to be gently opened. And you're going to focus on your hands. Look at your palms. Feel the way your eyes are really sharp and focused. You're going to keep your eyes right where they are and slowly open your hands like they're tracing the horizon. And let your periphery see your hands. So let that gaze widen. Let that gaze open. Can you see your hands? And then bring them back in front of your eyes and let that gaze sharpen. And again, open and let that gaze expand. One more time at your own pace, just exploring here the way we can get so stuck in a story, so stuck in a rushing mind. This is normal. This is the human experience. But how we do have the ability when we can connect mind, body, spirit, when we can find the sacred pause, when we can sit with ourselves in the distress and love ourselves through it and be tender to ourselves through it, that we can expand out of that stuck place. Just a slight bow to that, to honor that truth, to honor our power. And then find your way onto your back for some yin shapes for the remainder of our practice. Really settling in, knowing that we're going to be supine the rest of our practice. Bringing your knees into your chest, giving them a squeeze. And then just rocking side to side. We're going to inhale through our nose, and on the exhale, make a ha sound. Your own breath, your own rhythm, your own pace. Maybe this time sticking out your tongue and crossing your eyes. Really lengthening that exhale, getting out all of that stale, stagnant breath. And then holding on to your knees, just sort of cupping them so that your patellas are in your palms and beginning to make half circles with your hips. So just opening them and then closing them, opening them. And when you bring them back to closed, maybe even rocking your tailbone down so you can really feel that sacrum into the earth. And then returning to that half circle, opening and then closing and then rocking to your sacrum. Really taking our time this morning, really being extra tender with ourselves, not just in how we move, but in the stories we're telling ourselves as we move. So either coming to the sound Om, either in your mind, picturing that holy syllable which contains all sounds, that universal love and truth. Om. Just coming to your breath, or sending yourself some loving words or phrases. You are beautiful. You are worthy. Just by being, there is nothing you have to do to earn nature's love, Heavenly Mother's love. Now we're going to reverse that half circle. So you're going to sort of complete it around the back and then bring it in. Actually, that's not a reversal. Sorry, y'all. That's just like making a full circle. Words. I want to be gentle with myself about that mistake. So just completing that circle. And now you'll reverse. So they'll open up and then close in. And if you're not doing what I'm doing, that's okay. We're just really bringing some pure attention to our hips, which hold so much for us. And we want to let them know that in this safety, it's okay for them to release, to let in space, to let in breath, to let in relaxation. When you feel complete, just coming back into center, maybe reaching for opposite elbows in this really tight hug and contraction in the front hips. Maybe it's just reaching for opposite wrists for you. Feeling that back broad against the earth, slightly tucking that chin and visualizing the back of your neck one day just melting into the mat. Deep breath and that tight contraction, a purposeful restriction so that when we let it go, the blood flow can return. So let it go. A nice big momentary Shavasana, split storm shape. Moving right leg extended long, left knee comes in, clasping hands on that shin. Wind removing pose. Again, bringing that knee toward the center chest, so feeling that contraction, just gently pulling it toward you. no forcing. Then opening that left arm out to the side, placing that right hand on the outside of that left knee, and then just really gently twisting over to the right. Option to place your bolster under your knee, that left knee. That's what I'm going to do. Simply to bring the earth, simply to bring the earth up closer to you. Letting that foot relax. Maybe gently rocking that occiput, that back of your skull, gently rocking it on the earth. Feeling both shoulder blades melt toward the earth. Maybe returning to a humming sound on your exhale. Making whatever adjustments you need to fully and completely relax. Let go. You have done enough. You are enough. Maybe tracing that left hand up across the sky and then bringing it down to meet the right hand. So we're now folded in like a little croissant. Man, I want a croissant. And then on your inhale, opening up wide and bringing it back over to the side. It began. Maybe this time bringing your head to look over at that left hand. And we're just going to move through that sort of folding and opening. And you can explore whether it feels better today for you to open on an inhale or maybe open on an exhale. Just exploring for ourselves. Maybe one more wherever you are. Rolling back onto your back, maybe carrying that left knee with you, and then extending that leg long so you're in that mini Shavasana. Slowly bringing right knee up into your chest, clasping hands over the shin, wind removing pose. Let's remove those stormy gusts and make way for some gentle breezes. When the storm comes, just holding it close, knowing that it's a part of this experience. More tenderly, we can meet the storm, the less resistance we can have to it. The, oh, gosh, I just hope that means the storm leaves in a friendly way. We ride those ebbs and flows. We don't get caught amidst the swirl. When we tap back into our anchors of safety, our five senses, our breath, opening that right arm out to a T, left hand gently meets the outside of your right knee and then twists over, bringing any props with you into your twist. Scanning your body for places that are clutching or holding and finding a way to settle them. Sending your breath as a message that it is okay to let go. Opening those arms out into a T, palms to the sky. Maybe bringing some voice to your breath. What does you letting go sound like? What does you holding on sound like? How can we make them a harmony? Tracing those right fingertips across the sky, placing that hand on top of left hand, a folding in, knowing when it's time to retreat, to rest, to hibernate, and then inhaling to open, knowing when it's time to mobilize into action, folding in, opening your heart, folding in, just moving through this at your own rhythmic harmony. Maybe right ear turns toward the mat to look at that right hand. when you're opened. One more time, wherever you are. And gradually, in your own way, coming back to that Shavasana shape. Maybe taking up even more space this time. Bringing your knees to bend and your feet to plant into the earth. Maybe lifting those hips and just wagging them a little and adjusting that sacrum back down to center. Maybe clasping those hands and placing them underneath your head so they're really splayed open. And if that is just too aggressive or overwhelming today, keeping those arms in a T shape at your side. Now rolling onto your right side in a fetal position, closing those elbows in. And then opening into butterfly, opening those elbows, being on your back. In this moment, finding true heaviness. And then closing, folding in to the left. And opening back into butterfly, arms and legs. One more time each way, folding. I can take my solitude. And then opening. I can find connection with those I love and trust. Closing, honoring your solitude. Opening to the connection that is all around us. And holding here. Feeling the life coursing through you. Mm. 5 more deep breaths here. Maybe exploring jutting your jaw out like one of those dogs with a really bad underbite. Maybe making a sound, and then releasing. Bringing feet and hands up toward the sky, knees slightly bent, even elbows like not locked out. Let that back be broad against your mat. Maybe finding a little shake or wiggle. It doesn't have to be intense and aggressive for it to move what it needs to move. Letting those wrists be loose, those ankles be loose. And we're going to open our arms into a T and drop those knees to the left, maybe stacked on a bolster. And then we're going to explore eagle arms. So keeping your bottom half just as it is and crossing left arm underneath the right. And maybe you just reach for opposite shoulders and give yourself a big hug. Elbows are almost stacked on top of each other. And then the energy is to be pulling down so your elbows are going more toward your belly button than your nose. If you'd like, you can explore that double bind, bringing that left hand up and around to grab that right wrist or to meet palms, energetically pulling those elbows down. Check in with your bottom half. Are you relaxed? Unraveling those arms, feeling that fresh flow of blood. Back up to dead bug, hands and feet toward the sky. And just tapping one heel down to the earth, meeting it back up. One heel down to the earth. A real gentle activation in our core, just stimulating that fire we have inside for goodness and truth, but doing it in a really safe, calm, and relaxed context. Letting rage and fire and anger meet peace, calm, and connection. Maybe one more, or even yourself out if you'd like. And when you're ready, opening those arms and dropping those knees to the right. Option always to place the bolster under your legs or a towel or a blanket underneath your left shoulder blade if it's not quite melting down to the earth. That way you're not holding and clenching it, in this holding position, but you're bringing the earth toward you so you can melt in, so you can relax. Right arm under left, reaching for opposite shoulders, finding that hug, elbows stacked, and then energetically moving down. And if you'd like to continue that twist, you may, or stay just as you are. Right hand reaching for left elbow, or in another life, maybe palms to touch. A couple deep, full, rounded breaths. When you're ready, releasing arms, rolling onto your back, knees into chest where we began. Maybe bringing palms to knees and making some circular motions along that sacrum. the source of so much of our divine feminine power, the power that will save the planet, the power that will protect your inner light and peace. Maybe switching directions if you haven't already. And your Shavasana is whatever you need it to be today. It can be traditional. You can place your bolster lengthwise under your spine or horizontal under your sacrum. Or you can explore a belly down Shavasana where you're on your belly if that feels more safe today. And once there, settle in. Settle in. Shavasana doesn't always have to be so quiet and still. Feel the aliveness inside of you. Give voice to your breath if you need it. And allow the folding and opening to integrate into a full human experience. Mm. You are always welcome to end your practice right here. But if you'd like to begin to awaken, just really gradually bring movements back into your body. Maybe starting with those toes and fingers. Maybe rolling into some of those joints. Maybe finding a big stretch like a bird, spreading its wings outwards to home.
around you, coming into fetal position, surrendering to the warmth and home.
To meet me in seated. We're just going to do 3 sounds of Om to finish our practice. I'm sorry for definitely going over this hour, but it just felt so good to be with y'all. So we're going to reach out on our inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going to Om and bring that true nature into our hearts. Inhale. Om. Again. Om. Last time. Om. The light in me, now more than ever, bows and honors and acknowledges the light in both of you shining through this darkness. You too, honey. Namaste.